Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So we're going to be taking a look at a game that my dad played in the Wolverine, and this was on Cliff. And I don't think I've ever done this before, guys. Talk over someone else's replay. It's something that I've always wanted to do. Just never really got the chance to look at any replays, from really anybody that I play with. Because really, I only play with my dad, guys. I mean, occasionally I will play with clanmates, but I'm not close enough with people in my clan like a big YouTuber is to have people send me videos and stuff like that so that I can do them. So this is something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at my dad's replay. And by the way, guys, if you ever have friends or family members or whatever that play World of Tanks and you want to see one of their videos, all they have to do is save the replay and email it to you. It's really that simple. I mean, you could use like a USB drive, but literally we did this via email, and as long as you're on the same version of World of Tanks, it should work fine. So here we are. We're on Cliff, guys, and my dad is going to go to, this bush in the back by the rock up on this hill. And this is, if you guys don't know about this area, I don't even know if they used to have, like, back in the day, this wasn't open, and I think you still could climb up a rock and get over here in like a fast tank. Now they made it so that anyone can come up here, and it's, I'm talking, this was years ago, but, now you can come up here. It's a great spot, guys. You get up, you have a bush here, you get uphill, so you have, an advantage on shooting people, and you're pretty much even with these people here, if that makes sense. So you can get all these shots, you can see everybody, and looks like this team left this zero line wide open, which is a mistake. I wouldn't say it's the worst. I think mid is more important, but you never want to leave this wide open ever, guys. You never want to leave any parts of the map wide open. So, my dad's obviously seeing that. He's trying to get shots at this Panzer. The beginning of this game, I'm just going to throw it on like 2 times and kind of do it like this, because the beginning of this game it's really just a lot of long shots my dad's taking, nothing serious yet. Towards the end is where my dad will clutch a 3v1 and, carry the team. And it was very close, guys. But, I was very impressed by, what my dad was able to do. I mean, it's honestly the decisions he made, or I should say one big decision he made, I probably wouldn't have made, and I probably would have lost the game for it. So I will show you guys that, and I'm going to kind of critique this game as if it's not my dad. I'm just going to watch the replay, talk it through, tell you guys what I would do, and explain what he did and why it was, the better decision. This, like I said, guys, we're just, because he was shooting so many times there, I didn't want it to distract over my voice, but we're going to keep watching it 2 times, guys, and, there's nothing different I would have done here. All of this is just, I hate to call it camping, but you wouldn't do anything else in the Wolverine, if that makes sense. So we're still on 2 times, guys. You can see, I mean, this game was fairly close, so it's not like a raffle stomp, I like to call. So we are a good 5 minutes into the game, and, we're still going, pretty strong here. It's like 7-9. My his team is losing just a little bit, but it's rare to get close games in World of Tanks, is what I'm saying. Like, usually games are over by now, right? So it's cool to, see that at least this game was close for a while. Yeah, and just bear with me, guys. It's the second time I'm watching this replay. I looked at it very briefly when my dad showed me it, so I don't really remember everything. But, like I said, I'm talking through it as I'm rewatching it. So my dad gets shots into the Electo there, I believe it was. And now we're in a situation, guys, like, I'm going to start putting this on 1 times. We're in a situation here where you're down on HP, you're down on tanks, and as you can see, it was just like maybe 10-9 or something like that. Now it's 12-9. The enemy team is creeping in, right? The Leo is right here, so you know that their team has vision, right? So these are things I start looking at, and I start kind of you know, analyzing and stuff like that when it isn't my replay. So I'm looking and I'm thinking like, what would I do in this situation? Would I start moving? If I have a Hetzer and a T6 over here, we have the Leo here, and possibly the M8 or Wolverine are like up here in this area. Should I move? No. I mean, in this scenario, guys, there's really nowhere to go. They have the entire map. There's times where you'll win like the one line or something like that, and then you can make, you know, the decision to move to the one line or to move like, you know, really to A1. But this is what you have to do, guys, in situations like this, is you have to really analyze, you know, the map, see also what the HP of everybody is. A lot of these people were one-shots, if I recall, at least the Hetzer. My dad just gets a shot on the Hetzer next, I know that. But there's nothing to do in this situation. You can't go anywhere, right? So this is your best bet. You have all the shots here, so just stay here even if you're vulnerable. So here's the T6. My dad gets shots on both the T6 and the Hetzer. I know that. So here we go. He's taking shots at the T6. One of them bounces on the top of the turret or whatever, and it looks like the Panzer 3J got the kill, or the Stug got the kill. So it's 12-10 now, guys. The Stug dies, or whoever was over there. I think it was a Stug, right? And now you're in a situation where it's 2v5, I would say 2v4 because there's Artie, and you're both in the same area. That is what's really concerning to me here. When I first watched this video, is my dad's like, oh, you know, the Panzer dies next, and I'm like, how does the Panzer die and you know, are still okay? That's what I wanted to see, like how that happened, because these guys are both in the same spot, and you think they would both get lit at the same time, and you know, you'll see what happens here. But this is where I would start thinking, like, again, do I want to move? Because this guy is right behind me. He's probably going to get lit and then pull back in front of me, and I'm going to get shot. So while this is going on, guys, I'm going to drop the camera down so you can see my dad's HP, because that becomes important in a minute. And now Artie is targeting this area. It seems like everyone knows, because I believe my dad was spotted there. Now they both know where, the team knows where both of these people are. And you have Hetzer here. It looks like he took maybe a blind shot at the Panzer. We don't know if the Panzer is lit because, you know, at this time, and now Panzer's getting absolutely annihilated. Luckily, the position my dad is in, this is what I was just talking to you guys about. Here, like, the guy, he's sitting right behind him, right? That's a big concern to me. Whenever I'm in a light tank, if I'm like passive scouting and someone sits right behind me, I don't like that, because then if they get lit, you're lit, basically. They will hit you. So that's what I'm concerned about in this situation. My dad cleans up the Hetzer. It's looking, you know, to be going in the right direction. He's going to take a shot at the M8A1. That goes in, and now suddenly it's 14-12, right? But this is a big concern of mine, guys, is you never want to have someone sitting behind you that's spotted, because everyone's just going to shoot in your direction, right? So Panzer gets lit there. Like I said, we couldn't tell if he was lit because he doesn't have Sixth Sense. When people don't have Sixth Sense, their little, you know, light bulb doesn't come up over their head. So Leopard's here. Leopard is basically a 2-shot, or I'm sorry, a 3-shot, I believe, to my dad. My dad's aiming. He gets 2 into him. He does a great job here. Now, this, guys, is where I want to pause one more time. And in this situation, right, the Wolverine we saw before bounced my dad. What I would have done in this scenario is I would have YOLO'd the Leo. That would have been a big mistake, because then the Wolverine would have had shots on us. And like I said, right now, just based on the HP, I think my dad's like a 3-shot to the Wolverine. And if he got whacked by Artie, that would be the game. So in my experience, the best move right now would be to YOLO the Leo, because the Leo is a 1-shot and you're going to be permalit here. What my dad decides to do, and what I think is even the better option, is just to run the other direction. Don't YOLO the Leo, come out of here. Wolverine hit us from over here, so probably safe to get down here. Wolverine hits us again. Artie hits my dad, and now my dad is ultimately, I think, still a 3-shot to the Wolverine. But, you know, if you get hit by Artie, he could even be down to a 1-shot. So now HP becomes important, right, guys? We know the Leo is a 1-shot, so my dad starts turning his turret. You'll see he starts turning his turret towards the Leo, which is fantastic, you know, awareness. My dad knows this guy's probably going to come up, so he's trying to, you know, auto lock this guy and take a shot into him. And let's pause one more time, guys. I apologize for the pausing, but I really like to, analyze this. How much HP does the Wolverine have? Well, this isn't good. He's got 470 HP. So that's something that I noticed immediately when my dad said, this is a 3v1 and I won it. And I'm like, the Wolverine's at full HP. Maybe you guys can guess what happens, you'll see. But Leo is a one-shot. My dad was auto-locking him, which is perfect. It's just the Wolverine is not good at this. The turret speed times on the Wolverine, as I said in a video in the Bat Chat 12T, I might release that game after this. So I was saying how the T-67, the Wolverine, the Hellcat, the T-25-2, all those tanks on the American tech tree for the tank destroyers, guys, all their turret speeds are extremely slow. The turret traverse is slow. So that's one problem here. The other problem is on the move, these things are just not good. So my dad is trying to get, auto luck shot on this guy, but it's just not, it's more than likely it's not going to happen, right? But he's still trying to do that. So check this out. The Wolverine comes down, loses 465 HP, guys. This guy just threw the game doing what he did. There's a way you can come down here. You could have went down here. You could have came down slower and just kind of fell down, lost maybe 100 HP. I just did this today in an even 90, guys. I lost 50 HP. So I know that you can make that play without destroying your tank, and he nearly did. I mean, it's incredible that he stayed at 5 HP. He probably should have been dead if he took that much, right? So this guy just threw the game. He threw away all his HP. And here my dad is. He's realizing that the Wolverine, is coming around this way. He's going to come around the rock and take the shot into the Wolverine. Because like I said, slow turn speeds, guys. And this guy in the Wolverine was just not prepared for it. His gun was over here, and you could see that. So my dad comes out, takes the shot into the Wolverine. And watch this. This is even better, right, guys? Leopard, I'm gonna go back and just so you guys can see this all in real time. So here my dad is. We're gonna watch it in his view. He comes around the rock, realizes that the Wolverine is behind him. He's gonna come around this way, sees the Wolverine kind of targeting him. His gun's like all wacky, right? Like he was looking over here, then he looked over here. He wasn't even close. His round went over here. Then my dad's dealing with the Leo. He takes him out too. But what he does is he sits here, kind of. He's like back over in this area. Leopard shooting like this. Then the Leo starts shooting like this as my dad's pulling up, and he kind of jukes back again. So the Leo misses a few more shots, and then he pulls out and takes the shot. That was fantastic, in my opinion. Like, that's something I would do. You're basically just dodging shells, but my dad is very aware of how much HP he has. That is what's so vital, guys. You have to have awareness to all these things. He's not throwing away his 45 HP. Now, I believe one shot from the Leo is something around 30 HP. Chances are likely that in the Wolverine, I don't know if you guys know this, the armor is actually pretty decent. Chances are in the Wolverine, with the way my dad was poking, he probably could only take maybe 3 shots. Maybe one bounces off the track, one pens, and the second one pens. And they do 30, I think I just said, they do 30 damage per shot, about, when it has like that machine gun, the Lux and the Leo. So, beautiful play there by my dad. And honestly, I would have lost this game by trying to YOLO the Leo several minutes ago, right, guys? So now my dad has plenty of time to go find Artie. I don't remember where the tracers were coming from. I think we saw some earlier, but I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be looking, in this corner for Artie. And again, keep remembering, guys, he only has 45 HP. So you have to be really, really aware of just, where you think Artie's going to be. Prepare to, have to dodge a shell, right? So we're going to fast forward this a little bit to the end because, my dad goes searching for this guy. Double checks that the guy is not behind him, and he goes around the cap, guys. This is another important thing that some people don't. I don't know if my dad did this on purpose, but this is something else that I do. If you get on the cap, guys, you give away your position. Most people should know that, but just keep that in mind. Like, it's 14-14. You're the only person in the game, so if you get on cap, Artie's gonna know you're right here, right? So my dad goes around the cap, and again, I like to think he did this intentionally. He's not giving away his position, because as soon as you get on the cap, you give away your position, right? So drive away from the cap circle, and my dad's going to double check this area. He doesn't spot Artie here. He gets to this bush. Okay, Artie's not here, so now I'm going to get on the cap. Pretty smart move. I probably would have still been looking for Artie, but in this situation, guys, as a one-shot, I know that my dad can outspot him. He's running optics, I believe, on this tank, because the view range is pretty damn good, if you ask me. And here we go. My dad has the shots. The bishop has no view range, so... and the bishop is in the wide open. Now the bishop is trying to kind of back up. He takes a random shot there. My dad's not spotted. He takes a random shot, and he gets pretty close, but not close enough, guys. And my dad carries this 3v1. Phenomenal replay. My dad texted me last night. He said, I think I just played one of the best games I've ever played in like 7 years. So I had to feature this, guys. It was really, really good. I don't have the M plates because, you know, that's kind of hard to convert. I don't know if my dad like even took pictures of the end plates, but 1,680 damage visible, guys. I don't think there was any blind shots, no spotting damage, and that's the game. So I think we've talked through this replay pretty well. There's no other advice I would give here. I think my dad played this perfectly. There is nothing, honestly, like I would try and critique this. I don't think there's anything I would have done differently other than YOLO the Leo and probably lost my HP and lost the game. That's the only thing I would have done differently. And with the situation we saw, guys, it could have been the wrong decision. So, and you know, if my dad didn't go down to like this area right here, then more than likely the Wolverine probably wouldn't have dove off the cliff or whatever. So unintentionally, my dad basically killed the Wolverine because the guy lost 465 HP because he dove off the cliff. That's it, guys. So there's nothing really more to say about this. Again, we don't have the end plates, but let me know what you guys think of his performance down below if you're watching. And that's it, guys. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care and bye-bye.